From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, November 9th. A warmer day we have in store. Going to be mostly sunny. Winds out of the south are going to help temps climb into the upper 60s. So a really pretty fall day ahead of a weekend cool down. So get ready for that. In your vote 2022, Indiana Republicans claim victory with no major upsets in races across the state. Republican Senator Todd Young won his seat for a second term. He defeated Hammond's Democrat Mayor Thomas McDermott and Libertarian James Seniak by largely ignoring them during his campaign. Young focused on economic issues, blaming President Biden and Congress for sparking higher inflation and gas prices. In his concession speech, McDermott said it was imperative that everyone now get behind Senator Young and support Young to try to move the United States forward. Republicans were not able to flip the longtime Democratic hold on the 1st Congressional District. Incumbent Frank Mrvan will hold on to a seat as U.S. Representative. Mrvan beats Republican challenger Jennifer Ruth Green in a race that drew national attention and dollars as a potential Republican pickup. And it was one of the congressional races that will help decide the overall balance of power. About a third of the U.S. Senate seats and all 435 House seats were on the ballot yesterday. As of 7:30 this morning, the AP is reporting the Senate is evenly split at 48 seats in each party. Democrats nationwide showed surprising strength, defeating Republicans in a series of competitive races. It is still too early to call critical Senate seats in Wisconsin, Nevada, Georgia, and Arizona. Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker are locked in a tight race in Georgia. Georgia requires a majority to win statewide office, so it's still possible neither candidate will surpass the threshold. John Fetterman flipped a Republican-controlled Senate seat in Pennsylvania, beating Republican Mehmet Oz, better known as Dr. Oz. For Democrats trying to preserve their control of what has been a Senate split 50-50 with Vice President Kamala Harris as the tie-breaking vote, Fetterman's win could be the road to Democrats getting a majority. As far as the House, the AP is reporting 172 Democrats and 199 Republicans right now. Republicans need to flip 19 competitive seats to gain control of the House. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, who is in line to become Speaker if his party takes control, vowed to win the majority as he addressed a crowd of supporters at around midnight in Washington. And the outcomes and control of both the House and Senate will determine the future of President Joe Biden's agenda over the next 2 years. Here in Indiana, though, we have a winner in one of the most closely watched races. Republican Diego Morales will be the next Secretary of State, making him the first Latino ever elected to a statewide office here in Indiana. But his campaign gained national attention. He faced criticism for doubting the legitimacy of the 2020 presidential election. He later backtracked those claims in an interview with our political team. He also faced allegations of sexual misconduct, which he denied. Now, Morales is a former governor's aide to Mike Pence. He won the Republican nomination over the previous Secretary of State, Holly Sullivan, in the June party convention. That's when he won office. He beat out Democrat Destiny Wells and Libertarian Jeff Maher. It was a close race between Morales and Wells. Morales had 55% of the vote, while Wells had 39%. She did concede Tuesday evening in a speech saying campaigning is tough and demanding work, and even though she didn't win, she is reassured by the people of Indiana's support. This was also a critical election for the Libertarian Party. Their nominee, Jeff Maher, did not get the 10% of the vote necessary for the party to get onto the ballot for the primary election. However, he was able to secure enough votes to keep the party on the ballot for another 4 years. Democrats are also celebrating a victory in the Marion County prosecutor's race. Ryan Mears keeps the job, turning back the challenge of Republican Cindy Carrasco. This was Mears' first time on the ballot after he was appointed to the role in 2019. Cindy Carrasco conceded to Mears earlier in the evening. In a statement to media, she said in part, "Our campaign was about change, and although we came up short in our ultimate goal, we have made real, meaningful change. We have talked about accountability for criminals, using existing tools to prevent crime, and partnering with others to keep our communities safe." Mears says investing in the community is still a vital part of his plan to help reduce crime and solve cases. He noted his office has a 90% conviction rate when it comes to homicides. A well-known Republican will be Hamilton County's next prosecutor. Longtime radio host Greg Garrison got 57% of the vote to beat Democrat Jessica Paxton. Garrison thanked his supporters in a social media post that ends, "It will be well known that Hamilton County is the last place you want to commit a felony." We have put all of the race results at your fingertips. You'll find an election page on wishtv.com with the results of every Indiana race. And to business headlines, early markets are slightly lower as investors digested the election results. We are keeping an eye on energy companies today as production and drilling may become easier with a slight Republican edge in the House of Representatives. Market pros are telling our own Jane King, who gives us a business report each morning, that their strategy isn't changing and they are waiting for the consumer inflation number out tomorrow. After declining for several weeks, AAA says gas prices inched back up again. The national average price of gas increased to $3.80 a gallon, 4 cents more than the week before. AAA says the current average in central Indiana is $4.21 a gallon. A lawsuit claiming Skittles are unfit for consumption due to toxins has been dismissed. Mars was accused in the July 14 lawsuit of endangering Skittles eaters by using heightened levels of titanium dioxide. Walmart has already dropped its coveted Black Friday deals online. The nation's largest retailer, which released its first batch of holiday deals online this week, said shoppers will also be able to nab discounts in stores starting this morning. Some of the online deals showing this morning involved vacuums, stand mixers, and Apple Watches. Sources told the Wall Street Journal that Netflix executives hope to turn sports like surfing into large franchises and create new sporting tournaments or events. Netflix executives have had discussions about buying lower-profile leagues like European tennis leagues. And breaking news this morning, Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is starting massive job cuts. CEO Mark Zuckerberg sent a letter to employees this morning announcing layoffs of 11,000 people. That's about 13% of the company's total workforce. The Wall Street Journal quotes Zuckerberg as saying, overly optimistic hopes about the company's growth led to too much hiring. Meta shares have dropped more than 70% this year. And finally, to the Colts, interim head coach Jeff Saturday is prepping for a matchup with the Raiders this Sunday and has now made his first major move in the role. Assistant quarterbacks coach Park Frazier will now serve as the team's offensive coordinator. With 8 years of coaching under his belt, Frazier now has the most experience left on the staff following former head coach Frank Reich's dismissal Monday. Sunday's game against the Raiders kicks off in Las Vegas at 4:05. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.